Dynamite Delight. Had to go there. Guys, storytelling. 101 of pro wrestling, if you don't know, is storytelling. It's not just about the in-ring work that a pro wrestler does. From the beginning, you have to give something to the people to really latch on to. From the times when they were doing in the carnies to when they were starting to really be seen on television, from the original territories to when WWF took everything and then made the Attitude Era and everything else. It's always been about storytelling. It is very important you have this. Now, there are many forms of it. There is the in-ring work. That is your storytelling. But in recent times, it is not just the in-ring work. It is the storytelling when they put you in front of a camera like this and you gotta sell what you're showing. Not just going in the ring, but actually have a character. Be able to talk. Be able to hold a conversation with someone who's interviewing you. To be able to talk to the fans and respond to the fans and make it mean something. AEW for the last near 2 years, has not been able to do that. They have failed at it. Seriously failed. And in many cases, they still are failing. But this is the truth. AEW at this point, because of new and invigorated, I believe, Tony Khan with Joan Pepperman, has given us something different. Now, this is still early days. Let's make this clear. We do not have it perfect. But storytelling 101 is important. And now that we're beginning to really see that they are developing stories and they're letting us see the reason for these stories and the reason for these characters and the reason why these characters want to do a story, I care. I care more about this, and understand, I don't care about just one promotion. I care about just pro wrestling in general. Okay? That's the deal. If I could watch your product, I will review the product. But the problem is that in many cases, they don't understand how to do the product. Like, NWA used to really understand until Nick Aldis left. And pretty much when it came to Billy Corgan, he wanted to go in one direction. Nick Aldis didn't agree with it. And they've gone their separate ways. GCW does not have a story unless they manage to tone back what they've been producing and not use Nick Gage as much. They're still in the same boat no matter if you love it or not. And you know who you are, my friend. I know who you are. I know you love GCW. I'm not bashing it because I think it's garbage. I'm just telling you what has been shown. I've seen GCW. And I'm sure even you would say that GCW has not changed a lot. It is still about Nick Gage. I'm sorry, it is. And when it's still about one person, it does not mean it's going to work. Whenever they bring someone in to stick in there for a while, then it means something. But if it's always focused on Nick, it'll always not mean anything than just Nick. And that's where game-changer wrestling does not work. And let's make it very clear. MLW, I have seen a couple of episodes. I have not been able to keep up with it because it's not possible. But it does look like MLW looked better the way the stories are. But their production does not mean, from the last time I looked, didn't look good either. Much like TNA. But TNA did show a little bit of a sign of at least better camera work in the last couple of weeks. But we've gone through that before. So I thought I'd say this so you understand that when you look at this, it's got storytelling in it. And as much as it's not very well done, it is far superior than what we've been getting on the main roster of WWE, SmackDown, and Raw, which is only about The Rock. If you focus on just one thing, everything else falls apart. Let's start. Will Ospreay versus Sabata. I'm going to be honest here. I thought that this should have been something that should have closed a show, not opened it. But I can understand why they wanted to do it because of what the story is at the end with Strickland. So I understand it. But I do believe this should have been its own separate thing. Look, Sabata and Will Ospreay had last time they faced each other was 7 years ago. And it's a very young and inexperienced Will Ospreay versus a much more seasoned veteran in a Sabata before his hematoma in his brain, before he got hurt. So honestly, this should have been hyped up a lot more better. It should have been set up for, guess what? Either for Dynasty or after Dynasty. I really believe they should have set this up to make it mean something. You got a 7-year match waiting there, and you're blown on the main show. I do not agree with it, but I understand why they did it because of everything else that's been going on in AEW. So the match was very good, very rough, but that's the way of strong style for British and for let's make this clear, Japanese strong style. It's just there. Will won. But then it's like they need more from this story. But who knows when they're going to go and pick it back up again. Yes, each one of them got one win each. But the question is, will the next pay-per-view give you a match with those two? That's just a big question because honestly, my question is, will they really go there? I don't believe they will, but you never know. Next, the TBS Fatal 4-Way. Here's the thing, guys. I'm not against Anna Jay. I'm not against Sky Blue. But legitimately, I didn't want to see them in a match. Not because they're bad wrestlers, not because they're bad characters, but I want to see more women that's in the roster that they don't get the opportunity. Look, this is where they still have a major issue. But I do believe because Mercedes is there, at least they will begin to address it. The question is going to be, they will address it, but how will they address it? How will they set up more than just one storyline for the women? Because one major problem they have, and you already saw what happened to Mike Tyson's Toni Storm going to Turner Classic Movies in black and white. And that's all I'm going to mention about it. But there should be more women's stories. Not one or two. There should be maybe 3 or 4 stories for the women. They got time to set it up. They're not doing it. They only focus on maybe one woman's story. 3 of them would be the wisest thing. But we only got 1. And I don't feel it. It's empty. And it's not because I don't think Mercedes can pull it off, or Willow Nightingale, or even Statlander for that matter. But they need more. And I wanted to see more new women, or at least the current women that normally don't get seen. Where is Taya Valkyrie? Where? Where is she? Where is Athena? Yes, I know she's on RH, but wouldn't it be good to have her there? Where's Selena Deep? She just came back. We're only seeing her, what, on Collision? On Rampage? Or what? You're going to throw on RH where this woman should be seen? You guys tell me below how you feel, because I just don't feel it here. The match was fine. It wasn't a bad match. Mercedes was on commentary, and I will say this. I don't know if she's really done commentary before for very much. She was a bit entertaining. She is entertaining. But it looks like she needs a little work if she does commentary again. So when you see the end with Willow winning, and then seeing a Julia Hart who really did not hit her on her head. She hit her in the back. One of the problems with a smaller woman up against a bigger woman, that she has to understand she's got to compensate. Julia Hart did not do that. She just nailed her in the back with the title instead of jumping and then hitting her on the back of the head. Not too hard. With the title, where she would be going, hits the floor. That would have been better. That's just my opinion. You got a smaller woman in a Julia Hart who's done a decent job with her character, but not a very good job as a TBS champion because they have not really spotlighted her correctly. They gave her all the spotlight, but not spotlighted her correctly because she's had almost no feuds. There's her problem. Her feuds have been very far in between. It's not about being seen. It's about making her being relevant. But she should have just jumped and then hit her, clocked her on the back of the head. I think that would have been better, honestly, because she did not get hit on the head. She got hit here. And that's not enough to knock a woman of Willow's size to the floor. let's move on. We got the second quarterfinal. Trent and... Let me give it to you like this. Did I believe the Kingdom was going to win? Did I believe Matt Taman and Mike Bennett are going to get anywhere? No. They're always champions. As far as I can see, that's all they want them to be. Either they ask for this, or they're stuck like this, and that's all they do. And to be honest, I don't expect them to get anywhere. Look, they didn't get anywhere in Impact Wrestling when they had that 8 to 9 month run as Honor No More, when they literally didn't win any titles. And every single time when they were in a match, if it was a tag match, they almost lost every time. And the only time when they won is when they were almost 6, 8, or 12-man tags. They're not really appreciated. So this is what you get with them. But seeing that Trent and Orange are given the opportunity because I don't know where Rocky is. He's probably back in New Japan, or he's working in the back. But when it comes to Chuck, he's still supposedly injured. He just can't wrestle. So seeing them together is kind of cool. But you still wonder if you know the story between Trent and Orange. Trent has always had a certain attitude like, I want to be a damn champion so bad, but I never get anywhere. I'm getting frustrated. But they never pull the trigger. So going into this championship tournament, it's going to be a big question if they'll ever pull the trigger on him, or at least let him win a title in AEW, because he hasn't won nothing. Nothing. I'm just saying. Final match. Swerve Strickland versus Kateska. Very good match. This was about Swerve getting his opportunity to go up against Samoa Joe. But here's the problem. This is for next week, not Destiny. So either one or two things going to happen. And I'm glazing over the match because it was a good match. Watch it for yourself. Don't just watch highlights. If you can watch the entire thing, watch it. I'm saying watch the damn thing. Don't just go with small clips that are about 2 or 3 minutes long. If you can find a way to watch the whole show, there's going to be some alternative. You can watch the whole show, skip to the end, and watch the entire thing. Don't just look at a 4 or 5 minute clip. Watch the damn thing. You'll appreciate it more. I know people are always busy, and in certain countries it's very difficult to do. But if you can, watch the damn thing. Don't just see a damn clip. It cheats you of the actual joy of it. Unless you're like me, who is a reviewer, who didn't get a chance to see it, but is asked to at least give an opinion, I can understand why I have to look at a clip. Well, not clip, a clip. I have to look at it so I can get a good idea what I'm dealing with, because I'm putting out a damn video. I got to put it out at least in a good amount of time that makes sense. I can't just watch the entire show unless I'm going to review the entire show. If it's about one single match, at least I know where I can find a repeat of it, go to where the match is, and watch it in its entirety. So at least if I was going to do that, and it was important that I get it. But if I'm just to look at a certain part of the match, a clip would do, because I'm doing a review of it, as you can see. Watch it. Good match. It went 6 minutes overtime. They went 6 minutes. It was 10:06 here in Manhattan. No, not Manhattan, in New York. But I'm telling you this. It was very good. Very well done. And Swerve won. But I'm hoping next week he will not just get his moment and then it's dropped because they didn't think he should get the title. Or, better yet, they pulled the trigger and give it to him instead of Destiny. He should get it. He should get it at a pay-per-view, not on a show. If it wasn't like, how can I say this? If it was still 3 months out, I can understand they're doing it now. But it's less than a month and a half, maybe. Less than that. No. We're already nearing the end of March. We're going to April. Please don't. Do not let him win it here. Let him win it at Destiny. I hope they do a screw up. Now, this is the part I want to talk about the most. And this is all the stuff that we got extra. We got several promos, interviews, and vid packs. The vid pack I like was Adam Copeland's. And let me give it to you like this. Adam Copeland's vid pack about him winning the TNT Championship. I think the reason I'm watching here is he's doing the open again. He's doing the open challenges. Why? Why is he doing freaking open challenges? That's the reason I botched. I don't want him to do open challenges. I want him to just focus on being on Collision. Yes, he'll still be on Dynamite, but his focus will be Collision. And he says, my importance is Collision. I am making Collision my home. Only when it's important that I gotta come to Dynamite, I'm coming to Dynamite. But in general, Collision's mine. I want to see them set him up as the head of Collision. Let Samoa Joe take care of Dynamite. Give him Collision and make it mean something. But I don't like that. I don't like that he's going back to open challenges. But I will say this, the vid pack was done very well, talking about Christian, talking about the match, talking about he never thought he'd be wrestling again. He was shocked that he now has a more meaningful title that he's ever held since 2000 before, around 2011 before. This is the most important time he's ever had a title. And getting cheered and his music being sung. He said he'll take that to the grave. I really appreciate that. Bryan Danielson's video and his vid pack. It reminds us that we have a certain amount of time with him. Whether he's going to work in the back or he's going to fully retire from wrestling, period, never do anything from it. This year's it. Guys, if you haven't remembered, he said it last year. When my daughter turns, 8? I'm done. My last match will be in AEW. I will retire from in-ring work. That's it. Whether he works in the back, which I hope he does, because he can help out training people and helping the storylines and everything. That's what I'm hoping for. But right now, we don't have him for very long. So him with Ospreay, probably All In might be his last match. You never know. But clearly, this was a very well done vid pack. Dustin and the Butcher. Yes, I'm not too fond of Butcher working with Dustin. I wish they'd do something more with Dustin, but they are going to do Dustin. And they did have him have that interview where he talked about being in the business for 30 years plus. He's 55 years old and he's still getting it done. That's good. Kyle O'Reilly. I can't really comment much about it because I want to see how far they're going to progress with him, but I will say at least they're letting him get this interview time. And Renee is working hard. She's actually being seen. She's actually being liked. When it comes to Hook, and I'm not forgetting about Chris Jericho and Hook, seeing that Hook is going to take advice from Chris, is going to be working with Chris. Do I believe Lion Hook is going to be a thing? I don't know. I do believe that he will be dealing with Hook and at least will give something more to Hook that one day he will progress far enough that he can finally drop the FTW title and move to the TNT title. And as Chris said, the world title. I don't think he's even close to that. The TNT title or the international title, that is what's going to be for Hook. So what we got here was a good show. Does it need work? Yes. But at least it's storytelling. We got information about the people that we're supposed to like, what their feelings are, what's going to happen in the future, even if I don't agree with all of it, like the Adam Copeland, the open challenges. I don't like that. But there you go. I hope you enjoy this. And I will be seeing you tomorrow for my TNA review. Peace. Oh, I actually went that way. I meant like this.